like I was saying at the outset, if I had to say the number one problem with Linux right now for the average user who, isn't somebody who's maybe tech savvy, it's this, right?
Yes,
Because it's
for
like,
sure.
you just can't distribute binaries reliably. And everyone, it's one of those problems where you say it and Linux people say, no. It's like, no, it is. Full stop. Like, it is not arguable. It is harder to download binaries on Linux than other places. And that's not really a criticism of Linux because, like I said, it comes from the fact that they're trying not to have one uniform userland. They're trying to allow people to experiment. And so there is a benefit to it, right? Like DHH could not have made Omarchy if this had not been true. And the same is true for all the other people who've made their distributions. Bazzite, Linux Mint, Pop! OS, Nixos, whatever it is, right? So the fact that we have all those things is because this was allowed. But the downside of it is everyone made their own ideas about what it means to ship a binary as a result, and those things are not necessarily compatible. They haven't necessarily even been compatible across revisions of the same thing, because again, it's like there is no hierarchy that's saying this is how Linux should be. The kernel, since it has, Linus sitting there cracking the whip, he can sort of say, like, we're not breaking this. Like, here is the API to the kernel. It must remain consistent, never break, right? And that's been pretty, like, that layer of Linux has not had this problem, but the userland stuff has. And so that's just how it is. And until someone can politically solve that problem somehow, political plus technologically solve that problem, it's going to remain a sticking point, probably.
Obvious answer, Casey, is just write Win32 applications and then just let Proton handle it.
The other thing is the browser, right? A lot of people use a lot of web apps now. They use like stuff in the browser, and the browser is its own way that this gets solved, right? It's this separate substrate that everyone programs to. It's exactly like Win32 in that respect. So there's two places that you can go to get like stable Linux distribution. One is Win32,
Yes.
right? And the other is
Google
the browser. And both of those things will work. The part that doesn't work so well is if you actually want Linux native, and there you're kind of stuck in this like containerization land, or being very, very careful about like using only kernel stuff and having your own backcompat baked into how you communicate across those channels. It's not great.